Welcome to another Savor Newark episode, the podcast that allows us to discuss everything deliciously flavored in the city of Newark, in our opinion, still the authentic capital of food in the States. Today, I have a great guest, chef, entrepreneur, Jason Wallace, reshaping the way we eat in Newark. And believe you me, it's very delicious.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Happy
You have
to be here.
such an amazing story. Came to Newark at the age of 18, and now you're giving so much
Yeah.
to this city, and in the process, impacting the youth
Mhm.
in your 3 restaurants. A lot of people talk about Newark is going through this renaissance.
Mhm.
Newark is the place to be, and you are the living.
We're living it.
You're living it with
Yeah.
with 3 restaurants.
Yeah.
Why Newark? Why now? And what can people experience and expect from the restaurant scientist?
Yeah. So when I came out of the Navy, and I went to the Culinary Institute of America, I traveled in France, right? Worked for Gerard Pingot, La Rochelle, France, restaurant Coutanceau, came back, United States, line cook, sous chef, executive chef. I've always, Newark has always been my home. Kids born and raised here, with the public school here, college graduates. I never liked the negative connotations that were associated with Newark. I've never experienced any of the horrible things that people perceive about Newark, which is why I kept my kids here, bought my home here. I raised them, and because I knew that those things weren't true. And now, when I speak about my restaurant experience and my vast national and even international exposure, I just knew it would be a matter of time before Newark was ready for something that, one, I could put my name on, and two, that we could really change the trajectory of where Newark is in the national food landscape.
Mhm.
So yes, we are in a renaissance, and I'm excited to be here during this time. So I doubled down and put my money where my mouth is. We want to give a shout out to Invest Newark. The city of Newark was very instrumental with helping us locate capital, which is heavily, the restaurant industry requires a lot of capital. And we feel like we're a little early because we have some nights where business is dead, like literally, and like last night we slammed. So we know that the momentum is picking up. We know that the density is coming. We see lots of construction, lots of cranes around the city, which indicate that these businesses, these buildings, these commercial developments are actually happening.
Mhm.
They're not just running out of money, right? They say, okay, you buy the land, you got a developer coming in, and that project stalls. So now we're seeing active construction, which is a good sign for us.
When I ask guests and conversations with people, one of the things that seems to be a common denominator as to why Newark is so special and the food scene is so rich has to it all always boils down to its diversity.
Mm-hmm.
You also lived and worked in France.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think that that background that you have and that global mentality also fits in this momentum and the diversity of the city of Newark?
100%. 100%. Even like I say, even traveling in the Navy, I spent a lot of time in Sicily, right? Sicily was kind of Augusta Bay. Sicily was our home port when we crossed through the Straits of Gibraltar, Spain on one side, Northern Africa on the right, going into the Mediterranean Sea, Israel, Spain, Turkey, Greece. So those are all my formative years that I was exposed to Mediterranean cuisine. Then coming out, going to the Culinary Institute of America, then going back to France, and really being immersed in that type of culture. Um, yeah, and for me, food is the one thing, and hospitality is the one thing that kind of transcends all cultural and linguistic barriers.
Mhm.
And if I can feed you and break bread with you, now we're family, right? There's a different level of relationship that we have. And I think that my contribution, this is a movement, right? Meaning that, you know, I was born in the 60s and there was a movement in the 60s, right? About progress, about people, about humanity. The movement never stops. And as we grow as individuals, we have to figure out what's our lane within that movement, right? So I'm not the guy that's going to I'm not a politician. We need the strong political figures, right? We need people at local, state, and federal levels that are fighting on our behalf. We need protesters. We need advocates. For me, my contribution is hospitality and hospitality and food. And when you come inside the walls of Alletante, my Italian restaurant, 212 Market Street, shameless plug, 212 Market Street, downtown Newark. When you come inside, you don't know if it's raining out, you don't know if it's sunny out. We don't care about whether you're a Democrat or Republican. We don't care if you're straight, gay. We don't, none of that. You come inside, it's warm, it's inviting,
And it's delicious.
and it's delicious. Actually, I have a store next door, a sandwich shop called Just Delicious.
What's the address?
That's 214 Market Street. So when I was able to secure those two locations, 212, 214 Market Street, put two different concepts, it's part of, I have a food group, a hospitality group. It's part of my vision and my dream for the city of Newark, for the county of Essex, for the state of New Jersey.
Very good. But going back,
Yeah.
Jason, when did you discover this love for cooking, for food?
Yeah, in the Navy, I was cooking for the officers. I was on board USS Nitro, ammunition ship AE-23 out of Leonardo, New Jersey, Naval Weapons Station Earl.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. And I was cooking for the officers, and I knew that I was always about money, right? I've always been good at money. I've always had these entrepreneurial dreams and aspirations. I knew that the Navy wasn't the career for me long term. Didn't have any kids at the time, so one of the officers told me about the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. So I looked it up. We didn't have Google at that time. So I went to the library, right? Remember Dewey Decimal System and index cards, right? And I found some information about the Culinary Institute of America. And at that time, it was a 2-year waiting list. And I applied, and you needed recommendations. But it came, my passion, to answer your question, my passion for food came when I was in the Navy and I was in the Med. I was in Israel, I was in Spain, I was in Turkey, I was in Greece. I was seeing product that I had never seen before growing up. My mom cooked traditional soul food, right? Smothered chicken, fried chicken,
Which
mac
is
and
still
cheese, yeah.
pretty delicious.
Right, absolutely. But, now going over and actually riding in Sicily and Mount Etna's there, and you have all these citrus plants, right? And the olive trees, and, like really getting access to a different level of cuisine and food that I had not initially been exposed to. It was inspirational to me.
That's all very interesting, but you didn't go to any school. You ended up going to one of the best schools in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud alumni of my humble opinion, the best culinary school. I can't say in the world. I haven't been to them all, but definitely the country.
But it's definitely one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Harvard. They call us the Harvard of cooking schools, as well as I came out of the military, so it's a military structure as well. So I can't function without discipline, without structure. People think discipline is punishment. Discipline is a state of order, right? So without discipline, the other side of that is chaos. So for me, coming out of the military and then going to the CIA, where it was very structured in terms of your uniforms, your classes, your knife kits, even in the instructional classes, it fit my style, which also fits the culture that I try to create in my hospitality group.
How do you balance both creativity and being a restaurant scientist, as you're also known as, and that discipline?
Yeah, so the restaurant scientist piece came from my legendary rapper Dougie Fresh, right? Dougie, I was consulting with him, and he He said, man, you're some kind of scientist about this because I break things down. But ultimately, my true passion, I think, and my best gift is teaching, right? So how do you manage it is you have to be a teacher in order to be able to grow, because the restaurant industry, to me, is the best parallel to sports. And I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football all my life. Athletes running my family. So that same military structure combined with the sports background and the team. I love being a team member, right? I love being a coach. I love mentally preparing for games, physically keeping my body intact, um, giving my body the fuel that it needs to perform. So it's the same thing in the restaurant industry. So to manage it, I now have to be the CEO of my brand, which is why the scientist piece comes in. So if I'm literally working with my guy who washes pots and pans yesterday, right? Literally teaching them the science of how to structure, wash, rinse, sanitize. All right, how things going through the dish machine, and you stack up the plates, and you can't overload, right, the silverware rack, because then they all won't get clean because the water won't have enough. That last tank is going to take that water to 185 degrees, right? So something as simple as that, I had to break it down scientifically to explain to him how to execute that. Prep cooks, right? Small dice, medium dice, large dice, julienne, bâtonnet, right? Sauteing, 2 ounces of fat. Pan frying, 2 to 4 ounces of fat. Deep frying, totally submerged in fat. So I have to now teach my cooks, if I'm going to step off the line and out of the kitchen, I still need you to execute the same way that I would execute. And I'm going to tell you and teach you why that grease in that pan is 285 degrees. So I keep my thermometer with me. It's infrared. So when you get ready to sear something, 285 degrees is hot to your hand, but it's not hot enough to a steak or a piece of protein that's going to coagulate, where you want to get that Maillard effect on the outside and caramelize and get that, lock in those juices and get that meaty flavor, that umami flavor. That only comes at about 300 degrees. Now 350 is too high. Now the oil is going to burn. You follow? So I have to constantly teach individuals what's in my brain, right? Master's degree, 2 undergrad degrees, all that, 150,000, whatever I paid for that. That's expensive education. I can't hoard that information, right? I have to share it. So that's where the scientist part comes in, because if I don't now become a teacher, I can't grow. I can't build my team. I can't build the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman, the defensive backs, the running backs, the pass, right? Special teams. So to me, the restaurant industry is fit very well with the life of growing up as an athlete. So it's the ultimate team industry, I think.
And your master's that you touched that topic was also business driven. So you always knew that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or that something that maybe I'm the entrepreneur type, maybe just let me just have that also pillar in my academia.
Well, two things. One, so the culinary degree is one, right? Then when you get in the industry and you understand the numbers, right? It doesn't matter how good your soup is or your appetizers are, if they're not profitable, no one needs you, right? So I ran across tremendous culinary wizards, chefs, great, but did not understand the income statement, did not understand the balance sheet, right? It's indicative of companies' ability to meet its short-term debts, right? Long-term debts, anything greater than 12 months. Short-term debts, anything that's due within 12 months. What is an asset? Anything of value, plant, property, equipment owned by an entity, right? Liabilities, expenses, or causes or claims against those assets, owner's equity is the difference, right? So I know a lot of chefs who don't understand what the balance sheet is, which I think is probably the more important than the income statement, and just as equally as important as the statement of cash flow, because the statement of cash flow tells us how we're investing, financing these activities and operating as cash comes into our organization. So we go through peaks in the restaurant industry. So if my break even is 20 grand a week and I don't do 20 grand, I do 15, that next week I need to do 25, right? And when I do 40, I need to have that cash reserved because when I have those negative cash flow months, I'm going to need that. So so what I learned was I knew a lot of great chefs, but they were not good at business. They didn't know the business side. Maybe they just didn't have a passion for it. It wasn't that they good at it. So then I went back and then got the bachelor's. And then I went back and got the master's. And what spurred me to go back and get the bachelor's was I was working at a very well-known, popular, high-volume restaurant here in New Jersey, and I was a sous chef. And I thought that I was up next for the executive chef job. And this was early 90s, before the Food Network. And they flat out told me that they could not hire a black chef, executive chef. I could be the sous chef. And they were going to bring in another guy to put him over the top. Mm. And then I was like, fuck you, buddy. You know what I mean? And that's when I went back. That's like, all right, I got to go back to school. Because the culinary degree wasn't enough to propel me. I was like, all right, I need to do my own food group. So it became a vision and a dream of having multiple restaurants. And I knew that I wanted to do it in Newark. Because those were the same people that asked me when I bought my house in the North Ward, why are you buying in Newark? It's like, because I don't want to live near you. Right? So yeah, those are the things that took me back and acquired additional education. And I actually started teaching at the New York Restaurant School. And then that was bought out by the Art Institute. I started teaching culinary arts, and then I flipped over to all the business classes, bookkeeping and accounting, human resources, food and beverage cost control. And I stepped out of the kitchen and I was the manager at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, worked for Restaurant Associates. So when I flipped from back of the house to front of the house, that's when I went to the teaching. Mm-hmm. And that's what propels me now as a CEO of Hospitality Concepts. I'm basically just a teacher, and I enjoy that part. That's the most rewarding. Well, other than cooking, I do like cooking. Like when you came to the restaurant, I love when my friends and family come into the restaurant and people.
It certainly won't be the last time because you're so good. You're really
so. But my true gift is teaching. I think, in my home.
Jason, you are a true inspiration, and unfortunately, you touch a topic that it's sensitive. The whole prejudice and racism that unfortunately still exists in these days. But the way you fight back, it wasn't necessarily with hatred. Was with I'm bigger than this.
Yep.
And I'm going to be an inspiration, and I'm going to inspire a younger generation not to be limited and prejudiced like these. And my success is my vengeance.
100%. Which is why Newark is, right? Like I don't want to be anywhere else. I would not be anywhere else because who needs me as an inspiration? Because motivation is what makes you take action. I can't motivate you, I can inspire you, right? So who needs to see me and have access to me more than the youth, right? Than 18, 19, 20, 22, 23-year-olds, Newarkers, right? Even those guys and young ladies that are 25, they're 35, still trying to figure out, because technology nowadays is moving so quickly that I don't know, like I can't imagine being 30, 35 right now, trying to figure out where my lane is and where the future is, right? For me, I'm a glorified cook, right? I learned a trade. That trade has served me well. I'm in an industry that has multiple lanes. I could have went into television and production. I could have went into publications. I could have went into catering, right? There's just so many lanes in the food lane, right? Research and development. I got chef friends that work for General Mills. They develop product. So I was blessed to take a trade and maximize on it. So for me, the blessings keep coming to me because I feel like my part of this, right? It's a movement. The movement hasn't stopped. Racism hasn't stopped. Bigotry hasn't stopped. So my role in this movement is to continue to do what I do best, and that's create jobs and teach. And that's what the restaurant industry is really good at, creating a lot of good jobs, right? Even if they're entry level. And by me creating a hospitality group, now there's upwardly mobility within my company.
Mhm.
So you could start out in my sandwich shop making kick-ass pizza dough from caputo flour and sandwiches and stir-fried chicken and shrimp and rice and those types of things, and then end up in my family style restaurant, next level up, right? Doing pastas and sauces and chicken parms and stuffed mushrooms. And then with Katherine's coming in, a couple of months, that's even going to be another level up. So there's a trajectory of a career path that you can actually have that I'm creating that culture, that same millet, but you got to be disciplined. Like you can't be in my environment if you don't like structure and accountability.
What's your ideal candidate for kids that look at you as an inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, not necessarily kids, right? But young adults, like 18
Okay,
year
young
olds, right?
adults.
18 to 25, 25 to 40, whatever. You just have to, you have to have discipline and you got to follow my rules, right? Like you can't come into my restaurant with your own recipes and you can't be offended when I tell you I don't want your recipes. I don't need your recipes. I need your input. We can develop this recipe together. Absolutely. We can make this sauce better. Absolutely. Right? We pound the chicken. How can we pound the chicken? I'm like, so when we over there, I'm always at my guys because sometimes we'll take boneless, skinless chicken breast and we pound it for chicken parms. But then we also pound and use the same chicken for grilled chicken. But the grilled chicken pound, they always seem to just like abuse them. They're not as nice. They're not as uniform. They're kind of ripped. And I'm like, how could you pound it so beautifully over here? But when we use it for the grill, because you don't have the same respect because it's going to be breaded. You don't have the same respect for the grilled chicken as you do for the palm that's going to be breaded. So you have to, in order, the perfect candidate for me is sometimes with little to no experience because people who have 10, 15, 20 years, they come with their baggage. They come with their own perception. They want to listen to 80% of what I say. The other 20, if I turn my back, they want to do it their way. So the perfect candidate for me is someone who really truly wants to be an employee, not wants to live their dream through my restaurant. Now, if you want to ultimately own your own restaurants, I'm all for that. I will help you. I will actually try to even help you with your business plan, not only just on the food development side. So the ultimate candidate for me is someone who wants to grow, has good energy, because you can't be toxic in my environment,
Hmm.
and that really that is not lazy. That's it. That's it. I can work with you otherwise.
It's not easy. Another thing, I always like to ask throughout this amazing journey of yours. Um, what have been the moments that you cherish the most?
Wow. So definitely cherish, if I go back to the beginning, right? Definitely cherish the experience I got in the Navy. Navy was, serving our country, was proud. For me, my father was in the Army as well. So we're talking second generation of military vets. Next, Culinary Institute of America. The, the proudest thing was for me probably was right before I got ready to graduate. By this time, I had 2 kids. My house was up for foreclosure, and I came out. I moved off campus so that I didn't have to pay the dorm fees. So because that's how broke and poor I was. So I come out. I only got 2 months to graduate. I come out of my house, and the repossession truck is in my driveway, trying to repossess my car. Only problem is he couldn't get to it because of the way the driveway was positioned. And I sat there and I argued with him and was like, "You're not taking my car." And he couldn't get to it. I didn't leave. He didn't leave. I just sat on the car. And when he finally pulled off, he's like, "I'll get it. I'll be back, whatever." And I just cried, right? It's like, I got to hang on for 2 more months. I'm going to get this degree and we're going to go forward. So that was a really testing, trying moment for me that I'm pretty proud of. One, that I didn't get into a fight with the tow truck guy, with the repossession guy. And two, the fact that I was that close to losing my house and drop. So I'm like, man, because I can get a job. I knew I could get a job. I couldn't go to school full time and work full time. So there was always a gap between the money that I made on the weekends, catering, and working. I even waited tables, and my mortgage. So I was happy and proud that God got me through that as well. And then the most recent one is the opening of Alletante and Just Delicious here in Newark. 212, 214 Market Street, and hiring the students that came from the culinary school, Newark Culinary School, and employing those and seeing, like the 18-year-olds, like who's like they're from Newark, some male, some female, like what chances are they getting to come out of high school and be employed making $16 an hour, and getting as many hours as they want. And many of them are in college now in their first semester of Essex County and Bloomfield College. So that warms my heart. The ability to create jobs and employ people and know that little paycheck, no matter how small or large it may be, is making a difference in their life. Yeah.
The Alletante, I just got to taste it recently, and also Just Delicious, which I also recommend. You mentioned that Italy and the Mediterranean and Sicily.
Yeah.
You brought a lot of those flavors here to Newark.
100%. Yeah, no doubt. So the thing about that is I'm sorry, is that bothering you? So when I looked at the market and I said, does Newark need another soul food restaurant? There's great soul food restaurants. There's great Jamaican restaurants. There's great Portuguese restaurants. But I felt like there was a void for good quality Italian food. So given my background, culinary, French training, all the techniques that we basically use, most of them are French techniques, but they're applicable across cuisines. I said if I was going to do it, I had to do it right, which is anything that I put my hands on. So, just figuring out what the market could utilize, figuring out how to make it affordable, right? That's where the family style concept came in, because now I could give you a large bowl of pasta with any protein you want to accompany it. And you could split that between 2 or 3 people, right? Family style. So the vision just came, right? Some people can see, but they don't have vision, right? So the vision just started developing itself. And then once I was locked in on the concept, the menu was easy, right? You just start with authentic ingredients. You start with Alto Cucino, tomatoes. You start with Caputo flour, right? Fresh garlic, fresh basil, extra virgin olive oil. And, just stay out the way of it, right? Just don't fuck it up, right? Like, for real, like that's really what cooking is. Kind of simple to me, right? If you really like and love what you do, you put that love. So you got to bring that into every recipe. But some things, like, I can't. The majority of my menu has less than 7 ingredients in every dish, right? It's just real food. It's real olive oil. It's real garlic. It's real rosemary. It's real thyme. It's real basil.
It's real passion.
It's real passion.
We believe, and Savor Newark, and you were one of our great panelists. It's all about touching the topic of the authenticity levels of the food in Newark. We really believe that Newark is the authentic food capital in the country. It's based on our personal experience, Portuguese, Spanish, Brazilian. I grew up in Portugal, went to college in Spain as well. So I feel that we're eating at the level. Granted, eating a fish by the ocean in Portugal is going to taste different.
Yeah.
But in general, if we were to, from technicality, culinary standpoint, these restaurants transported to Portugal or Spain would still be considered good restaurants.
Absolutely.
What do you think that makes Newark so authentic? Not only in food, just in general. People are just unapologetically Brick City.
Yeah, Brick City is Brick City. We're real. Like there is everything about it is authentic. Everything about the city is authentic. You know, the hood, the downtown, the North Ward, the South Ward, the rest, like no matter where you go, you're gonna get real Newarkers telling you some things you might not want to hear. But the knowledge and the education level, right? The intelligence, the skill level, like it's amazing that the negative connotations associated with our city has absolutely no place in any conversation, because every city is going to have some level of, negative things. But the city of Newark has been very good to me, my kids, from, old school Boys and Girls Club days. The Boys and Girls Club on Broadway is now gone, to Pop Warner football, to Barringer football. My son played at Barringer, went to technology, the other one went to Science Park. And, it's just a fabulous city. So I feel like I need to contribute back and give back to a city that's been so tremendous to me and my family.
You're definitely making this city tastier, that's for sure.
Yeah, thank you. We got a lot more to do.
From Just Delicious to the Italian elevated restaurant next door to this new one that you're about to open, can you already reveal what kind of concept will it be?
Yeah, so it's going to be called Katherine's, which is named after my mother. Katherine's is going to be 10,000 square feet in the Ironside building, right on Edison Place and Columbia Street, right in front of the Prudential Center. It fits the vision of me focusing on Newark, 2 blocks away, 3 different concepts. Katherine's is going to be American. So imagine Capitol Grill meets, I don't know.
Red Rooster.
Yeah, I was going to say the old Hylon Pavilion, right? It's called the Pavilion, the Hylon now. So imagine Capitol Grill meets the Hylon. So yeah, that's it. I mean, we'll be aging our own ribs, so making the ribeye steaks. We'll be doing a seafood tower, so you'll have crabs and lobster and poached shrimp and just all those things that come on a seafood tower. We'll have pizza, right? Because we're right in front of Prudential Arena. We'll have some quality pizza over there. So it'll be a little bit of everything. I like to call it American cuisine because American cuisine to me is the melting pot of America, right? So you said Spain. I remember being in Ibiza, Spain one time, man, and just had this incredible meal, Ibiza and Palma. Just incredible fresh food, right? Remember the afternoon they take the siestas, right? And everybody just goes to sleep and stores, right? Just stores its clothes, right? You wake back up, but you're gonna party all night and eat. Just the food, everything is manja, manja, manja. Just eat. So so Catherine's is gonna be that for me. Catherine's is gonna be that American mix. I put a wok in Catherine, so you're gonna see some stir fry. I like woks. I put woks pretty much. I have a wok in Just Delicious as well. Sorry, these are my employees blowing me up. They're standing outside. So I put a wok in Catherine, so we're gonna do some stir fry. Why do I put it? I like woks because you go to some of the Asian restaurants and they want to upcharge you for vegetables that should be already be in the rice,
Mhm.
right? Like, wait a minute. Fried rice comes with peas and carrots and broccoli and scallions and eggs, right? So why, when you serve me fried rice, I just get a bunch of onions, right? So I love woks. I love the heat. I love the things that I could do creatively with a wok. So you're going to see some Asian stuff in there because I got some Asian neighbors in the North Ward.
Mhm.
Right? You're gonna see some Spanish. I mean, you're talking all the ethnicities in the Spanish, rainbow. You're talking um, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, right? So you're gonna see that blend of items on. You're gonna see some classic Southern dishes, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what they are gonna be yet, but I definitely have this 5 cheese macaroni and cheese that I have these fried, even at Just Delicious, I do these fried grits. Did you try my fried grits over there? I take grits, cheese grits, and put them on a sheet tray and put them in the refrigerator and let them solidify. And they get hard, then we cut them out into triangles, and then I bread them and deep fry it.
No, I've tried it.
Yes. Shit is crazy.
I tried it just delicious
Just Delicious, right. So that's what Catherine's is going to be.
with the
With-
sauce.
Yeah, with the sauce. Yep. With the secret JD sauce, and we shave Parmesan on them. So Catherine's is going to be, I'm calling it American cuisine because that doesn't tie my hands to doing anything creative from a culinary point of view.
Very good. How do you see the future?
The future. So funny you say that. I just got elected to the National Restaurant Association's Board of Directors.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So our first board meeting is coming up, and I'm going to be representing independent restaurants. So what you're seeing now is most of the chain restaurants, right? And we're not like chains have their place, right? I won't say any names, but the chain restaurants have an advantage because of the power that they have in terms of buying, right? So for me, the future of Newark is making Newark the North Jersey hub for the New Jersey Restaurant Association, right? So we're going to be doing the serve safe classes. We're going to be doing educational food and beverage, cost control classes, bookkeeping, accounting, human resources, all of those, even serve safe alcohol classes. Because I got on the board, Josh was with me. Joshua Suggs from Deltas is also on the board with me because we have to now create talent. We have to develop our own talent from with the labor pool that we currently have. The independent restaurants, the middle ground is losing us. I don't like this narrative that I'm hearing, right? So who's profitable right now in the restaurant industry? Chains and high end. So they're saying that middle independent restaurateur, that affordable, that family, not Applebee's and Chili's, right? That was the market. That's the segment of the middle class market.
Mhm.
That's where I want to live and dwell, right? I want to live and dwell as an independent operator who can give you a kick-ass sandwich at an affordable price that is high quality, chef driven. I want to give you Italian food in the mid-level that is kick-ass food at an affordable price. And I want to give you that upper scale as well at an affordable price. And I know we can do it. So I don't listen
You want to
to
make quality more democratic.
absolutely more available, right? And it should already be available. Like it shouldn't have to pay a tremendous amount of money to get a quality steak,
Mhm.
to get quality. Yesterday I just went up from 1620 shrimp to 1315. Because once I cooked the 1620, they was coming down. So you come back. I think did you have the scampi before? You didn't have the shrimp scampi or anything over in the Alletante. I was serving the 1620 shrimp.
I got to go back.
Right. So now the shrimp is big, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't live with it myself. Now, how does that affect my margins? I'm sure it will. I'm going to do the math today.
But it solidifies your brand.
It solidifies the brand,
So-
but it also solidifies the fact that the people that I want, like I need the people that I know don't have the luxury of spending $75 or more per person. You can come at $35 per person and still get quality and still get the love and the passion.
Mhm.
So that's where I see the future is. But it's going to be hard. That's part of the movement. I'm part of the movement of the '60s, right? It's some Black Power shit to this, right?
Even with the, of course, and even with you being part of the board
The
now, you're
restaurant.
also the first. Aren't you the first?
I was in New York State. I was the first Black chairman of the New York State Restaurant
Right.
Association. That was about 10 years ago.
Yeah. So like there was you've been making history in
Yeah.
terms of.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, even that it's sad that history's still being made as we still talking about the first Black, right? But yeah, I'm still down with the movement,
Mhm.
right? I'm doing my part with the movement, and that's quality food and beverage, creating jobs in my community, and investing and doubling down in my community for sure.
Definitely. You're very consistent and coherent with that positioning. Would you like to, based on your experience, and you're much more than just being an entrepreneur that just focuses on profit. You cook with a sense of responsibility and depth.
Yeah.
Is during the times that we're also going through, is there any message, advice that you would like to send out to your community based on your knowledge? And
Yeah, the message that I like to send to the Newark community and surrounding East Orange, Irvington, um, all of Essex County, you got to start looking at coming downtown Newark to eat. I know that that's hard. Like changing behavior and travel patterns is difficult. You know, we think about going Bloomfield, Nutley, Montclair, Jersey City, Hoboken. They'll go to Tops, you know what I mean? But they won't come downtown to eat. So I'm begging them that they actually, now there's a reason to come. Maybe you didn't know we exist, but now you know we exist. You got to come downtown and support the restaurants, period, not just mine. I'm talking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not just Friday night and Saturday night. So we need that support. So that's the message and the ask that we change. We change our travel patterns a little bit. So after work, come downtown. After church, come downtown.
Mhm.
Tuesday, Wednesday, because I was open Mondays and Tuesdays. And I had to close on Mondays and Tuesdays because we just wasn't doing any business. So we are open Wednesday. But I'm dying to open back up on Mondays and Tuesdays. But that won't happen until we have more increased density and people know we exist, which is part of my responsibility to let people know, which is I want to thank you for having me on this show so that people can understand who we are. But we got, it's downtown. There's some good eatery. There's some good eateries downtown.
And I totally agree. And you're definitely shaping downtown for sure. Where can people find you? Social medias.
Yes, so Alletante Restaurant, Italian restaurant, is located at 212 Market Street, downtown Newark, 07102, right around the corner from the Prudential Arena. It was formerly Mercado Pizza. So if anybody is familiar with Mercado Pizza, that's where we are. And the next door, which was Novelty Burger, that's where my Just Delicious is. So they're about 212 and 214 Market Street. You can find me at Jason at restaurantscientist.com, email, and same for Instagram. Alletante has a website and Instagram as well. Alletante is spelled Allettante, and it means attractive and alluring in Italian, which is why I selected the name. Right, so that's what Alletante means. And then Just Delicious is simply Just Delicious, right? Our sandwiches, slices, and shakes, milkshakes, ice cream, all of those things are Just Delicious, and that's at 214 Market Street. And Just Delicious also has its own Instagram and website as well.
And don't forget it, if you're really into house music,
Yes.
Alletante, you also have house music.
Yeah,
nights.
Wednesday night, DJ Chillax. Shout out DJ Chillax. DJ Chillax and the house heads come to, actually, we moved them to Just Delicious side because they needed a dedicated dance floor. So yeah, if you want to hear DJ Chillax, come down to Just Delicious every Wednesday night and get some old school house music from 6 to 9, just 3 hours. But the food is good, the vibe is good, and yeah, come check us out.
Also a great place for you to have your event.
Yeah.
Jason, my friend, it's
No,
always a pleasure.
thank you.
I thank you so
Thank
much
you, man. I
for all you
appreciate
do
you.
for our community.
Yeah.
You're a true inspiration. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the service that you keep on serving the community with.
Right.
This was our great conversation with Jason. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to also follow Plusable and Savor Newark. Thank you so much for your support.